Good evening and hola to all of my plus size princesses and princes and kings and queens. And I just want to come to you all this evening and do a very quick eye tutorial, something very neutral, something that I think is simple but it still gives you that added oomph. And then also kind of show you some of the cleaning regimens and some of my brushes and things that I use. Just so that you can see, I've already done the right eye. And let me know about the lighting, because I spent about 5 minutes, 10 minutes trying to figure out what was the best lighting. I actually have 2 lights going on right now, so definitely leave comments below if it is not actually working or it's not the best lighting. And I'm definitely open to that feedback so I can try to make these videos as clear as possible so that you all can really see what's going on. I already did my right eye, and this is actually how it is going to come out. And then just so that you all know where my color scheme came from, I did pick a neutral color, and so I actually played off of this earring. This earring I did purchase, I believe, from either like a Forever 21 or a Charlotte Russe. I'm thinking that it's probably from a Charlotte Russe, but I purchased it a while ago. And I did want to go ahead and play off of these colors. So this is a tribal print type of earring, and then it has the kind of feather design at the very bottom. But I think when I originally purchased these, maybe like $2 or $3.99 at one of those stores. But I did go ahead and play off of these colors, which is the white or the cream at the top, and then I did also use some of the brownish and the copper tone and the gold tones there, and then also that rust color. And then the eye of the feather is that darker brown. So I did do a combination of all of those colors. I'm not going to do a full face, but I did already go ahead and put foundation on. And for my foundation, I actually used 2 of them, but I use the Sephora liquid foundation in R55, and then on top of the actual liquid foundation, I like to use the powder, just the actual little pressed powder, and that's going to be the Sephora pressed powder in D55. For my cheeks, I did actually put on some blush, and I used my BHCosmetics 26 palette. I think in my last video I called it BHS. That was not right at all. It's BHCosmetics, and this is the 26 color palette for your eyeshadow and your blush. And I think that they are a great company if you're looking to not necessarily purchase a lot of expensive makeup, but you want to get a large quantity if you're starting out, or if you're just kind of wanting to start kind of getting your collection of makeup together. For my cheeks, I did actually use a combination of this kind of copperish red color, not copper, but this kind of rust red color, and then also this kind of salmon pink right here. So I did use both. And then this is the actual brush that I used, and this is from the makeup show. I did also purchase this off of BHCosmetics. In fact, this entire set came with the kit, and this is going to be more of your circular kind of flat blush brush. And then what I apply the blush with this brush, and I actually just dotted it on. I'll call it spackling or spittle or spickle, something of that nature. I'll figure out what it's actually called. But I started with the darkish copper or the darkish rust color here, and I just kind of dabbed my brush there, and then I kind of dotted on my blush, and then I did take it up here next to the side of my face. Same way with both sides. And then on top of that, I did go ahead and use that salmon pink color. And then I put that right on top to kind of soften that up a little bit. I also contoured my cheek, and I actually used a smaller brush. This particular brush is just going to be, again, I only use it for contouring. And it's a bit of a fluffy brush, nice large head on it. And in that same palette, I actually used this darker brown here. Just dab. And then I make the fish face. And then right where my cheek and my cheekbone actually crease, or kind of cave in right there, I go ahead and I contour right there in those spaces. On both sides. go back into that same color, and then along my jawline to kind of give me a more angled jawline to make it thinner here, I do also contour there. And then under your chin, where you may have a little bit of a double chin, I also go ahead and rub some blush there as well. Now, for the actual makeup itself, I think that it's great. This particular palette happens to be a blush and an eyeshadow combination, but I use all the colors for either. I like to blend them a lot, and as you notice, these two colors happen to be just replicas of these colors right here as well. But if I wanted to do any type of gold tones on my cheeks, or if I wanted to do a little bit lighter contour, then I can certainly use any of those colors and pick them up. And then of course you can also use them as eyeshadows. I travel with it, and so those just happen to kind of fall out, but you can also use them. I use all the colors for everything. And that again is the 26 colors palette, neutral eyeshadow blush palette from BHCosmetics. I believe I actually purchased this when they had a sale on it. I think originally it may cost maybe like $26 or $27.99, but I think when I purchased it, it was like $17.99. So they did kind of cut the price by about $10, which was good. And again, if you're talking non-expensive makeup, I think that they are excellent for starting. It's also set up for professional makeup artists because they have a lot of kits and a lot of brushes and a lot of different makeup effect type makeup that you all can kind of use, special effects type of makeup that you can use, especially if you are looking to create different looks for weddings or for proms, or if you want to do a little bit more drastic, then they definitely give you those options as well. And that is actually that's the blush. For my lips, as you all can see, I do actually have just lip gloss. I do wear lipsticks, but for this look, I wanted to keep it very neutral, very soft. And I did line my lips with the NYX lip liner pencil. And this is in the color Soft Brown. Very, very, very pretty color. I love this color. To me, I kind of thought it was more like a peach or a pinkish type color. And then on top of that, I use the NYX gloss in Natural. And I picked both of those up from my local beauty supply house. I think that this particular lip gloss, they sell it for $3.99 at my local store. And then the actual lip liner, I believe it was like $1.99. So really not expensive at all. And then I did go ahead and apply that to my lips. And I really like this color. And it's just enough gloss, and it's just enough color so that it's not too overbearing, especially if you really don't like a lot of color on your lips. Like me, I do some pinks, but I really don't like a lot of color. So starting with the eye look, I don't have any eyelashes on. I wanted to make it as natural as possible. If you wanted to apply eyelashes, go ahead. I normally do have individual lashes on, but I haven't reapplied any within the last couple of days, and so I just did a dark eyeliner. And then I actually used the same brush that I used to comb out my brows. I just used that to kind of pull up some of my eyelashes, because I don't really have long eyelashes, but for the few that I do have, I went ahead and just kind of pulled those up with that particular brush, and I love that. So starting with my eye, I did go ahead and prime my eye using the Smashbox, and let me just take it out the container, using the Smashbox eyeliner. And this is Photo Finish Lid Liner, and I did pick this up at Ulta, and it was $20 when I purchased it, but I really like it. I did actually have the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, and it wasn't necessarily my favorite. I normally go with the more neutral of the eyeliner or the eyeshadow primers, because I don't really like those hard packed, kind of like those really darker or those really whiter colors. I prefer something just very neutral, that way it can blend in with my skin. And this again was $20. You get an Ulta card when you go. That way, as you continue to shop, then you'll earn points and get discounts. But I really like this so far. And this is actually, again, the Smashbox Photo Finish Eyeshadow Primer. And so I went ahead and I primed that all, put that all over my eyelid, and then I just go ahead and rub it in. And then I also, right underneath my eye, I also go ahead and rub some of that in as well. And again, I've already applied it, but just kind of showing you all where I put it. For the actual look itself, I also used the 88 Colors Neutral Eyeshadow Palette from BHCosmetics. And this is actually all neutral tones. And then it comes in a nice little, I've had it for a while, but it does come in a very nice black case. My top is broken off, but the inside of the top does have a mirror on it, especially if you travel with it. That way you do have a way of applying your makeup and you can see it and you're not just putting it on blindly. But for my actual, for the actual application of the color, I started off with my small eyeshadow brush. Also, I purchased it at BHCosmetics, and this is from the Makeup Show. It's not a fluffy brush at all, just a very flat head brush and one of your smaller brushes. And it's more of a round brush, so it's not going to be an angle. I started with the 1-2-3 white eyeshadow from the back, from the bottom. Tapped in that color, make sure I got a lot of it on my brush. And then I went ahead and tapped some of it off. It's your eye, you can blow on it. So your germs and your eye is totally fine if that's how you normally get the excess off of your brush. But your germs in somebody else's eye is totally different. So definitely try to be as conscious as possible when you are applying makeup for someone else. So I went ahead and started with the white color and I packed that on. And excuse me if I look back and forth in the mirror, that way I can make sure I'm applying it correctly. But I went ahead and just put that all over my eye. And just kind of packed it on there as much as possible. I did go ahead and take the shape of my eye. And so that way you have a marker to kind of work with, so that you kind of know where your outline is. So just take the shape of your eyelid and just trace that line. Pick up that color one more time, because we want to make it as rich as possible. As we start applying the other colors, it's actually going to fade away, but we're going to go back in at the end and apply somewhere in the middle like I did over here. And then you can clean it up at the end. With that same small brush, I'm turning around. With that same small brush, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top, if you have this palette, even if you don't have the palette, starting off with any white color, you don't have to use any of the necessarily products that I have, but just to kind of show you how I use some of the palettes and kind of incorporate some of those colors. But any white that you want to start off with, if you have these colors, you can go ahead and use that and apply it the exact same way, and we should get similar results. At the very top, my lighting again is a little bit off, but that fourth color from the top is more like an eggshell or a cream color. Again, we're going to try to pick up that same white that's in the earring. So I went ahead and took that white color using this exact same brush, patted it in, got some on my brush, and then again I went right over the top of that white. And then again, we're going to take that same eggshell color and go right back in on the top. And notice that I'm not actually rubbing, I'm not actually wiping the eyeshadow on. I'm picking it up and then I'm patting it. And in my opinion, that's how you get the full color potential. Because I am a little bit more darker skin or brown skin, then when I actually shade in and wipe in colors, it ends up wiping the color entirely away. And so to me, it rubs out more color than it does create color. So, and that's how it should look so far. It is messy, but remember that we are going to go ahead and clean it up at the very end. Alright, and that's with the smaller angle brush. Next, I have the same Makeup Show branded brush, and this again is going to be a wider brush compared to the one that we have used earlier. And you can actually take a look at the two. I'm going to do a side by side so that you can kind of compare the size. This one, as you can see, they're both very flat brushes, but this one just happens to be a little bit more wider base, and then again it's very thin, a little bit fluffier than the other one, but not a total drastic difference. Next, on top of that, right in the kind of arch of my eye, right where my eyelid and then the top half of my kind of brow bone actually reach, or kind of meet, I went ahead and applied